You know that moment when your brand new Hyundai does something you never asked it to do? The engine dies right as you're about to dart through a gap in traffic. The steering wheel fights your hands on an empty country road. The brakes slam on for a tumbleweed that isn't there. Every single one of those moments has a name, a feature Hyundai designed to help you. But in the real world, it just drives you crazy. What's worse is that a good number of these features do way more than just mess up with your driving. These seemingly harmless features are making your car worse, not better. And here's the part Hyundai usually keeps to themselves. Almost all of them can be silenced, dialed back, or flat out shut down. Some with a secret button sequence, others in just a few menu taps, and one or two with a part that costs less than a tank of gas. Hey there, I'm Dean, a mechanic of over 15 years, and I see these frustrations every single day. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to take back control of your car, starting with the feature owners rank as public enemy number 1. Let's get into it. Feature 1. Idle, stop, and go. You're sitting at a red light. The engine cuts out, the air conditioning goes warm, and for a split second, you think you've stalled. Well, you haven't. That's just the idle stop and go, or ISG, Hyundai's fuel-saving system in full swing. It shuts the engine off when you come to a stop, then fires it back up the second you lift off the brake. On paper, it seems clever. In the real world, it's the number 1 feature owners ask me to kill. You see, what you don't know is that every one of those restarts puts wear on your starter motor and your battery. Hyundai installs a heavy-duty AGM battery and an upgraded starter to handle the extra cycles, but that doesn't mean they last forever. An AGM battery for a Tucson or Santa Fe costs like $200 to $300, and a starter replacement, if it fails outside warranty, can set you back $600 to $900 at a dealership. I've seen ISG starters call it quits as early as 80,000 miles. Leaving drivers stranded halfway through a left turn. The hesitation that comes with ISG also has a real safety cost. That half-second delay pulling into moving traffic can be the difference between a smooth merge and a very, very close call. At least, the feature does exactly what Hyundai says it does. The system does save a little fuel, roughly 3% to 5% in city driving, but honestly, the trade-off just isn't worth it. Now, let's talk about disabling it, shall we? First, go to the center console near the shifter and you'll find a button labeled ISG off. Press it once and a yellow light appears. That turns the system off for the current trip. Yeah, it's still not that easy. The problem is, you have to do that every single time you start the car. So, you've got to make it a habit every single time you hop into your Hyundai. If you want a permanent off state, the cleanest solution is an aftermarket memory module. These plug in line behind the ISG switch, and remember your last setting. You can find them online for $25 to $45, and installation takes about 10 minutes with no tools, just a trim tool to pop the switch panel. In most Hyundai models, it's genuinely a 3-minute driveway job. No need for rewiring or dash warnings. For the cost of a couple of pizzas, you can finally stop fighting your own engine. Now, if that restart shutter gets under your skin, wait until you experience a feature that literally tries to steer you into the next lane without an invitation. That's what comes next. Feature 2. Lane Keeping Assist. Imagine cruising down the highway, one hand loose on the wheel, and suddenly the steering wheel gives a firm robotic tug. Your Hyundai has decided you're drifting out of your lane, even if the lines on the road are faded, or you're just avoiding a pothole. Yeah, that's Lane Keeping Assist, or LKA. It uses a forward-facing camera to read lane markings, and when it thinks you're about to cross a line without signaling, it applies corrective steering torque. In some newer models, Lane Following Assist adds continuous steering input, making the wheel feel like it's fighting you on every gentle curve. Uncommanded steering isn't just annoying. Oh boy, it can be genuinely unsettling. On a narrow 2-lane road, LKA might try to pull you back toward the center, just as you're giving a cyclist a wide berth. If the camera misreads tar snakes or construction seams as lane lines, you get a sudden jerk that can spike your heart rate. I've got my fair share of owner complaints about how overly aggressive lane intervention can be. In fact, Hyundai has actually dialed the system back in recent software updates, but many vehicles on the road still have that original assertive tuning. In the worst case, a phantom tug at 70 miles per hour can cause an overcorrection. Even if it doesn't lead to a collision, having the wheel move when you don't expect it chips away at your trust in the car. That vague sense that the car might do something unpredictable chips away at your confidence in your own car. Good news is it can obviously be disabled, while the simplest method is holding the LKA button on your steering wheel or dash for 3 seconds until the indicator turns off. That only works until the next ignition cycle. For a more persistent fix, go into your vehicle's settings menu via the infotainment screen or instrument cluster display. Navigate to driver assistance, then lane safety. There, you can uncheck lane keeping assist or switch it to warning only. Instead of Hyundai just taking matters into its own hands, it gives you a beep and a visual alert without grabbing the wheel. In most Hyundai models, this setting sticks between drives. You'll still have lane following assist available separately for highway cruising if you want it, but you won't be arm wrestling your car every day on the highway. Tugs on the steering wheel are one thing, but I bet you've had your Hyundai slam on the brakes for absolutely no reason. We're getting to that next, and the fix, unfortunately, might save you a $2,500 repair bill. Feature 3. Forward Collision Avoidance Assist. You're driving through an intersection, plenty of room ahead, and suddenly the brake pedal drops out from under your foot and the car comes to a violent stop. The dashboard flashes collision warning, but you look and there's absolutely nothing there. Maybe a shadow, a parked car, or a reflection from a metal sign. This is Forward Collision Avoidance Assist, or FCA. And don't get me wrong, it's saved a number of lives, but it's also responsible for a huge number of false activation complaints. FCA uses a combination of a front radar and camera to detect obstacles. When it calculates an imminent collision, it pre-charges the brakes and can apply them out of the blues. The system is tuned to err on the side of caution, but in daily driving, that caution turns into phantom braking events, especially in heavy rain, on curved roads, or when approaching reflective barriers. I had this customer who described it as driving with someone who panics every 30 seconds. Yeah, she wasn't wrong. An unexpected hard stop at 45 miles per hour on the highway can get you rear-ended. Even if you avoid an accident, the forces involved put stress on brake pads, rotors, and suspension components. A rear-end collision repair, even a minor one, averages $2,200 to $2,500 on a modern Hyundai when you factor in sensors, bumper covers, and labor. And if your car's phantom stop causes the driver behind you to hit you, you're stuck with the headache of insurance claims and a diminished resale value. Seems like a whole lot of work for a feature that can actually be dialed down. Now you can either turn it off or tame it. The absolute off method is to press and hold the FCA button, typically on the lower left dash or center console, for about 3 seconds. A warning light on the cluster will confirm the system is deactivated. This resets every time you restart the car. The smarter long-term move is to adjust the sensitivity instead of fully disabling it. In the driver assistance menu, you can change forward collision warning timing to late. This reduces the number of false alerts dramatically while still keeping emergency braking as a last resort. Many owners find that late turns the system from a nervous wreck into something that only steps in when you genuinely need it. Next up is a feature that makes your Hyundai beep like it's haunted. It pisses even me off. I'll show you how to silence it in under 10 seconds. Feature 4. Intelligent Speed Limit Assist. Hyundai's Intelligent Speed Limit Assist, or ISLA, reads traffic signs and GPS data to know the speed limit, then sounds a warning chime the moment you exceed it, sometimes by as little as 1 mile per hour. It's designed to keep you ticket-free, but on a wide suburban road where the limit drops from 45 to 35 without warning. That chime becomes a constant companion, and if you live where speed limits change frequently, it can turn a relaxing drive into your worst beeping nightmare. This goes beyond just the irritation, even though that goes a really long way. There's a more psychological aspect to it all, you know. When an alert fires off every few minutes, you start tuning it out mentally. It's a whole phenomenon called alarm fatigue, and it makes you less responsive to genuinely important warnings like low fuel or a system malfunction. A constant stream of nuisance alerts effectively trains you to ignore your car's whole notification system. Well, on most recent Hyundai models, you can turn ISLA off from the steering wheel or the infotainment screen. Using the steering wheel controls, scroll through the instrument cluster menu until you find driver assistance, then look for speed limit warning or intelligent speed limit alert. You can usually set it to off if you trust yourself to always keep to the speed limit. Otherwise, select display only, which keeps the speed limit icon visible on the dash without the chime. On models with a dedicated AV system, go to Setup, then Vehicle, Driver Assistance, and finally, Speed Limit Warning. When you get there, uncheck the box. This change persists between drives. In a handful of vehicles, you might need to adjust the offset. For instance, set the warning to trigger at limit plus 5 miles per hour to get some breathing room. But a full offsetting is almost always there. 10 seconds in a menu, and the beeping stops for good. Okay, one annoying chime down. But there's another chime that Hyundai owners face every single morning, the moment they open the door. I'll give you the secret sequence to make it shut up. Feature 5. Seatbelt Reminder. Chime, you buckle your seatbelt, always. But maybe you're just moving the car from the driveway to the garage, or you're in a parking lot at 2 miles per hour, and the chime starts. Ding, 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 getting faster and louder until you want to pull your hair out. The Hyundai seatbelt reminder is relentless, and unlike some other brands, it doesn't just time out and go quiet. It escalates every minute that the seatbelt stays unbuckled. A persistently loud chime that you cannot silence forces some drivers to buckle the belt behind them or use aftermarket dummy clips to defeat it. Those workarounds are unsafe and in some places illegal. I've got a better way. While dealerships can technically deactivate the chime via a scan tool, many will refuse, unless the vehicle is modified for a medical condition. The owner-level solution is a manual sequence that programs the chime off for a specific seat. The procedure varies slightly by model year, but the most common Hyundai sequence goes like this. Park the car, ignition off. Sit in the seat you wish to program. Turn the ignition to on. Just the electronics, do not start the engine. Very important. Now, within 3 seconds of turning it on, fully unbuckle and rebuckle the seatbelt 3 times, ending with the seatbelt buckled. The sequence must be completed in under 10 seconds. If you do it right, the seatbelt warning light will flash rapidly for a few seconds, confirming the chime is disabled for that seat. It will stay off until you disconnect the battery or reset the system. If you need the chime back, the same sequence reactivates it. You don't need the dealership. You can get it done in your garage in like 8 seconds. Yeah, I've timed it. Once you know the rhythm down to a T, it should take under 8 seconds. If that sounds too much, a $30 Bluetooth OBD 2-dongle and a smartphone app like Carista can disable the chime permanently with a single tap. But for most people, the belt buckle dance is all you need. Always try that first. Now you've silenced the cabin. But there's a safety feature that lives in your back seat and can honk your horn in the middle of the night. Let's kill that one next. Feature 6. Rear Occupant Alert. Hyundai introduced Rear Occupant Alert to remind you not to leave a child or pet in the back seat. A really great feature. The system works in 2 stages. First, if you open a rear door before driving, it displays a Check Rear Seats message on the cluster after you park and turn off the car. In vehicles with ultrasonic interior sensors, the system goes further. If it detects movement inside after the car is locked, it'll honk the horn repeatedly and flash the lights. That's a fantastic idea on a blistering hot day. However, at 2 a.m., when all it detected was a moth or a twitchy window shade, not so fantastic. Truth is, false ultrasonic activations are more common than you'd think. A breeze from an open window, a bug, even a phone sliding off the seat can trigger a full-scale alarm. That drains your battery, startles your neighbors, and can leave you with a flat battery in the morning if it happens repeatedly. The long honk sequence can draw around 7 to 10 amps, and a couple of multi-minute activations on a marginal battery is enough to prevent the engine from cranking. A jump start or a $200 battery replacement later, you're left wondering why a safety feature cost you money. There's a straightforward menu fix for this. First, hop into the infotainment screen, go to Setup, then Vehicle, then Convenience, and look for Rear Occupant Alert. You'll see a checkbox next to it. Uncheck it, and the reminder message and the ultrasonic horn activation are both shut off. On some models, you can disable just the horn alert while keeping the cluster message. The setting is saved across ignition cycles. If you have the ultrasonic sensor version and still want that reminder without the noise, select Cluster Alert Only. Just remember, if you regularly park in extreme heat and ever carry a small passenger, you might consider leaving the cluster alert on, but the horn can definitely go. So we fixed the inside of your car. Now, let's look outside. The next one happens in the dark and honestly can be dangerous for everyone else on the road. I'll show you how to stop blinding other drivers. Feature 7. High Beam Assist. High Beam Assist, or HBA, automatically switches your high beams off when it detects oncoming headlights or taillights ahead. In theory, it gives you maximum visibility without manually fussing with the stalk. In practice, what I hear constantly from Hyundai owners is that the system dips too late, or not at all, for motorcyclists, cars on dark rural roads, or vehicles cresting a hill. This is another fantastic idea, but a delayed low-beam dip means you fully flash oncoming traffic, often at close range. That temporary blindness can be enough to cause a swerve or an accident. From a liability standpoint, running highs when you shouldn't can earn you a traffic citation in many states. And frankly, it's just not good road etiquette. The system's camera can also get confused by reflective signs, temporarily killing your lights when you most need them on a twisty back road. So, regardless of how fantastic this feature is, it's gotta go. The simplest method is to cancel the auto high beam mode with the turn signal stalk. When the auto high beam indicator, a headlight symbol with auto inside, is lit on your cluster, push the stalk away from you once. The A indicator disappears and you're back to manual high beam control. This setting typically sticks between drives as long as you don't push the stalk forward again to re-engage auto. If you want the system completely out of the picture, you can turn off high beam assist in the vehicle settings under lights, but the stalk method works for almost every model and takes less than a second. I trust you to know when and how to toggle your headlights on the highway. We're down to the last one, and it's a feature that can quietly wear out your brake pads while feeling like you're learning to drive a manual for the first time. Here's how to stop the lurch. Feature 8. Auto Hold. Auto Hold is designed to keep the car stationary without you pressing the brake pedal, handy at long traffic lights or drive-through lanes. When you come to a complete stop, the system applies the electronic parking brake automatically, and a green auto hold indicator lights up on the dash. To move, you just tap the accelerator, and here's where the frustration kicks in. The release often isn't as smooth as you'd expect. It's a slight lurch, a delay, then the brakes let go, jerking the car forward. If you're in stop-and-go traffic, those micro-jerks build up into a grating, unsmooth experience. Now, beyond driving comfort, that repeated lurch on release can cause accelerated brake pad wear. Because the system is releasing the brakes under torque, instead of a clean liftoff, you get a tiny amount of slip each time. Over 30,000 miles of city driving, that can shave a few thousand miles off the life of your rear brake pads. A rear brake job on a modern Hyundai costs between $280 and $380. Not particularly catastrophic, but an unnecessary expense for a feature you didn't really want. If you must disable it, here's how. Look around your shifter or center console for the auto hold button. Press it so that the orange or green indicator turns off. Once off, it stays off between drives. No resets or special procedures. It's one of the few systems in this video that remembers your preference permanently. If you ever miss it at a long light, just tap the button again. For the price of a 1-second press, you get a smoother drive and a little extra life out of your pads. So, you see, every one of these steps takes minutes or less, and most cost you nothing. For the couple that do, like the ISG module, you're spending maybe the price of a tank of gas to solve a daily annoyance for the entire time you own the car. That's a solid return on investment. This video should make your daily driving just that little bit smoother. And isn't that what we all want?